Let's take one question. This is a particular question already you people have. And this is what the March 20 examination. It's a very good question. That's a March 20 examination. So candidates, what is the purpose? What is the 1 minute? 1 minute, students. The voice is much better now. Yes. Okay, class. This is what the question of the March 20. This is what the March 20 examination question, and that is about what a question about waste parlay. Um, yes, this question is about the topic of like acquisition, merger, some a little bit about the um, sell of matter. I mean, reorganize a little bit. But the purpose of this particular question, it's not about that exactly discuss about the details, complete details of the acquisition merger. Because the topic complete details of the acquisition merger, a, a sort of checklist I will provide you by tomorrow. So what is the purpose? So what's the purpose for that particular question? The purpose is, of course, the question includes acquisition merger, yes, but also that how to handle the 50 marks question. What do's and don'ts need to consider when we are working with a particular question. Unfortunately, this particular question, it's not available with the ACCA exam CP format. Otherwise, uh, I will definitely conduct with the CP format, but I will do that particular question on the Excel sheet. And we will also discuss about how to handle a comprehensive 50 marks question, considering the examiner report as well. Yes, come on. This is what about the question. For example, you are sitting in the examination hall. You are sitting in the examination hall and you have opened the 50 marks question or open your examination. I must say the very important thing, the 50 marks question, number one, never attempt this question in your exam as a last question. As a last question. Never consider that you have to attempt that question in the last. Either as question 1 or as question 2. So that's a very important point. But 50 marks question, there is a problem about the 50 marks question. And the problem is that this question is very much extensive. It's a very extensive question. What examiner says about this type of question, the 50 marks question? a 50 marks question. For example, this question name is West Parlay, a 50 marks question. Fifty marks question means, first of all, you must have to stick with the time management. Here, examiner particular mentioned that this is what about a 90 marks question, 90 minutes exams. So it is important to allow yourself for reading, thinking, and checking your answer with this 90 minutes. That is called time management. And use the same weighing within the each requirement of the question. Same weighing with each requirement of the question to ensure that you have opportunity to gain maximum marks across the question. Which means that for 50 marks question, you have 90 minutes. And also this 90 minutes allocate with the sub requirements, with the allocated requirements 6, 4, 6, 10, 12, 4, 8. And that is called time management. Examiner particular mentioned that you should avoid temptation to expand your answers to one requirement beyond the allotted time. For example, some candidates, it's a complaint. That's called don'ts and do's. That is, you don't need to. That some candidates spend too long question one, meaning that they reach the maximum marks allocation well before the answer of this. Which means that, very important point, if you spend, sorry, you attempt as a question one or question two, you must have to focus that you must be strict with the time management. Because I know very well about a lot of students in the previous exams. Sir, we have spent a lot of time to question one. That's about 2 hours or 2 hours 15 minutes. That means the pressure will build rest of the part of the questions. Even you attempt with the question two, one more question remaining, that pressurizing the remaining part. That's called the temptation. So that is the point. Sir, how to handle this issue? How to handle this? In the real world, the tutor only support you for the time management aspect to guide you. No one, the teacher in the world, who can guarantee that yes, I will provide you the techniques where you will be able to manage the time 100%. No. How to handle this? The practice. Actual, this is practice. Obey the orders of teachers and practice, practice, and practice. But here the practice includes a smart practice. Sir, what is the meaning of a smart practice? Don't worry, I will tell you later. Don't worry how to handle it. But practice is the key thing. This means that they use the time that should have been spent answering remaining requirement. Markers cannot allocate more marks to a requirement than is available, even if the comments may otherwise be worth marks of one. What does that mean? Candidates, one thing is time management and one thing is marks management. Do you know what is the meaning of the marks management? Marks management means answer your question according to the allocated marks. According to the allocated marks This is called marks management. If examiner asks you to for something 4 marks, let's say 4 marks, 4 marks, you people know very well, 4 marks means 4 multiplied by 1.8 is equal to, this is a simple calculation, that's almost 7.2. 7.2, 4 multiplied by 1.8, that's 7.2 minutes. But do you know that 7.2 minutes includes planning plus attempting, or planning plus writing? 7.2 minutes. And do remember that I strongly advise you, I ordered you that whenever you're practicing the question or in examination, you don't start writing until unless you plan the answer. So practice is not only about writing, practice is also about planning. That is what about time management. Sir, what is the meaning of marks management? What is the meaning of marks management? Marks management means if something about 4 marks, especially for theory, that means 4 marks means 2 to 3 well explained points. 2 to 3 well explained points. 2 to 3 well explained points. Not more than 2 to 3 points. If you think that's at that particular 4 marks, I can write more. No, control your emotions. Because the examiner only attached 4 marks. Examiner mentioned that we will not provide you the marks more than the allocated one. Sir, what is the meaning of well explained points? This well explained word used by the examiner. Well explained means it's not the bullet point, but not in essay format. Your answer neither in a bullet point, neither in essay format. Your complete explanation, 2 or 3 for 4 marks, 2 to 3 complete explanatory points. And do remember, for all ACCA professional exam papers, number 1 knowledge, number 2 application. Is equal to complete answer. Knowledge means your syllabus knowledge, that rote learning, but it's something about the case you have to attach with the case. That means knowledge plus application. Application means connect with the case. This is what I have explained. Elaborate the meaning of the examiner. So in short, stick your allocated time and time spent considering quick answer plan may help you to keep your answer on track. Without planning, don't attack. Before attacking, you have to plan, you have to read the question or scenario very well. Otherwise, you people know very well what is going on with the reputation of USA right now. I'm not discussing any political matter right now. So this is what the important thing that we will apply here. Moreover, Faiz Ahmed, I will reply this point with the connection of the case. How much marks you allocate accordingly. These all things we will apply with the question. Today's that particular agenda, not more than that. How smartly handle the question exam and make your preparation accordingly. Don't worry. Okay. One very important point, professional marks. 4. Some of the students says that, sir, it's only 4 marks. Why we are providing too much effort? Leave it. But I say that these are not professional marks. These are actually free marks. In my term, these are free marks. These are free marks. You can just keep your pocket since starting the examination, or even before starting the question, even before starting the exam. It's free in marks in your pocket. Just focus 2 or 3 things and embedding something in your practice. Number one, examiner mentioned that the CB format seems to encourage good presentation, and here candidates now seem to earn more professional marks available. So number one, with the CB format, it's become easier to get the professional marks because you are working with a word to put the headings, highlighting. That means encourage good presentation. First thing. Indeed, many candidates earn all the marks, which gives a significant help in achieving the overall pass in their section A and examination hall. This means that if we wanted to become under 40%, because here are examiner wordings for those students who qualify the exam. So if you wanted to become under 40%, you have to learn how to get the professional marks. Candidates should remember to earn professional marks must split the bulk of their calculation into appendix. Okay, sir, how? These are the questions. How? Split calculations into appendix. That is the point. Show a suitable opening rubric, means headings, and introduction and conclusion, their report. All these are headed. So if you are attempting the question and attempting the questions in the spreadsheet, have to work out with the headings, allocate the appendix, and like this. With the report format, including introduction and conclusion. Conclusion. The conclusion with the A part question. As is often the cause, the later calculative requirement in this question very often relied on the result from the previous parts. Candidates who adopted organized and logical approach were usually able to make faster and better progress than calculation. Sir, what does that mean? Adopted logical and organized approach for the calculation requirement. Sir, what does that mean? This means I normally use the word pull factor. Sir, what is the meaning of pull factor? Have you ever heard the word reverse engineering? Have you ever heard the word reverse engineering? Reverse engineering. I strongly suggest to all students to attempt the complicated part of AFM. Apply the pull factor. Pull factor means reverse engineering. Means first you need to think where we want to reach. Means exact requirement of examiner. Of examiner. First, write it down on the Excel, on the Word, or in the rough sheet. What's the exact requirement? That is your destination. That means your destination. First of all, identify destination. Then make a reverse working. Drag your answer accordingly. Drag your answer accordingly. That is the key point. I will attempt that question in this manner with all these rules. So, reverse engineering. Last one, this paragraph. This is examiner latest statement. This is not easy, and candidates need to practice past questions in exam condition if they are going to develop necessary skills to achieve this. Examiner says that all above, it means if you wanted to become under 40%, whatever examiner told you have to practice. The conclusion is that examiner said exam simulation. Exam simulation with time management, marks management, professional marks, and with pull factor. This is what the technique to attempt the question. This is what the technique, the question. One, one very important question asked by your colleague. That is called, that's a question, Damali Levis. Very important question. He, Damali asked that what I what I become stuck in the examination. What am stuck in the examination. Don't worry about that. Whatever I'm saying here, I will apply all these with this question. Don't worry. Pull factor means reverse engineering. Pull factor means first identify where we need to go, then develop your answer accordingly. Normally, majority students practicing the question push factor, push factor. Just keep going, keep going. If someone asks you, where are you going? You reply that, I don't know. If you don't know where are you going, so what is the purpose to attempt the question? First, ask yourself that where we want to go. Write it down, then practice accordingly. Believe me, there are 5 sections of the syllabus. If you attempt five to if sorry, if you have good enough knowledge of entire syllabus and just practicing 5 to 6 questions for each syllabus area, means maximum 24-25 questions, 7-8 attempts exam, you will not to qualify, even you not even to qualify, make distinction. Please focus on qualitative strategy. That is what ACC hired me here, not for the rote learning, not for the practicing the question just in a manner normally what you people do. You people do in your life and in your exams a push factor. Keep going. Someone asks you, have you got what the examiner exact requirement? You will not able to explain. So practice the thing in this manner. That is the point. Another important point. Another important point. I will tell you the suggested questions. Don't worry. Just focus my lecture right now. Don't ask these type of questions. How many questions? I will give you the matrix of the question. Don't worry. But the very important question a colleague asked, sir, if I am stuck mid of the question, so golden rule, golden rule. If when I was a student for the ACCA, so I'm an average student, by the way. Whenever stuck at that particular point, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim. I just remember my God Allah and pray for my messenger Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Daru Sharif. And after that, I take a reasonable assumption. A reasonable assumption. And keep moving. I never stop. It's an important golden rule. Take a breath, glass of water, remember your God, Allah, take assumption, keep moving. Because, do you know why? Because in your mind at the AFM exam, what should be in your AFM, whenever you are going to AFM, listen to this statement. Whenever you people entering to the examination hall, whenever your first step at the examination hall, your mind should develop in a manner that I am here for 100% appropriate exam, not the 100% accurate exam, not for 100% accurate exam. Examiner never expect that you will be able to exact or 100% exact 100% exact reply of the questions. You just have to develop in your mind, I am here in the examination hall for the 100% appropriate exam. Ask yourself, what how many exam you have already qualified in ACCA? 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever the exam. You performed 100% accurate? Not at all. So why you are worrying here? Take a reason assumption to make an appropriate solution of the exam. That is the point. Don't worry about that. I will tell you how many time you will spend for planning at this. But have you people got the right direction? Okay, whatever I am saying to you, is this valuable for you people? Yes or no? That is the fine tune for the practice setter. You must have to reply me and commit me that we have to practice the questions from the rest. But from today, we will practice the question in this manner. I'm not repeating the things accordingly. But now the time, now the time, now the time about how to apply these things accordingly with that particular question. Now, come on. I strongly suggest all of you people that I strongly suggest all of you people, class, this is the question that's called West Parlay. I'm giving you 3 to 4 minutes. Please read this question. Please read this question. Then I will start the question accordingly. Read the question. This question already the part of the document I have shared. The ACCA team already shared the P2P presentation day one. So please download that document on your system. Okay, now class, it's my time. Okay, now it's my time. Okay, class, let's start the question requirement. If you are sitting in the examination hall, definitely, um, sorry. If you're sitting in the examination hall, first of all, you must have to open the question with the requirement. If either you have decided to attend this question as a question one or the question two. So read the requirement initially. Discuss the behavioral factors which may lead to business such as metaverse tech being valued highly. Okay. So that is the first requirement. That's theory. B requirement, prepare a report. Compare the additional value which West Parlay company believes can be generated from sale of Metaverse tech based on PE ratio with that projected value of the initial cash flows. Okay. This is the first time you are reading the requirement. So just go through the requirement. Calculate the weighted average cost of capital for the combined company. That's 6 marks. Estimate the total value with the West Parlay shareholder gain from the acquisition of the Metaverse company. Assess the strategic financials value and West Parlay company acquisition, including discussion of the estimation and assumptions. So this is what assess. Assess means critically evaluate. Assessment means as a person, you have to consider that point. Is this yes point or is this no point? So-called plus and minus as well. Professional marks will be awarded for the part B, for the format, structure, and presentation. And then C part, discuss the factors which will be determine how the offer for the metaverse company will be financed, and hence the level of caring which West Berlin company will have. That is 8 marks. 8 marks. So class, the very important thing, first of all, if you have the requirement, some things you have to very much aware that recently after September 18, examiner examine the question number one, especially with the multi-syllabus issue. With the multi-syllabus issue. Examiner incorporate like this question and the combination of theory and calculation. Apparently, the first thing, apparently, that part that's called theory. Okay, first part that is called theory. Last part that's also called the theory. And the report itself a descriptive element, but the fourth part particularly theoretical aspects. So I can say that the calculation aspects are limited to this 4 marks, this 6 marks, this 10 marks. Means out of 50 marks, 20 marks related to calculation, 30 marks related to theoretical. So we have to spend the time in that manner. So very first thing, that's the time management. For the 50 marks question, for here, here about West Parlay. So time management, 90 minutes. Marks management, that's called 20 for calculation, 26 for theory, 4 for professional marks. So have to allocate the time and marks accordingly. About the pull factor, I will discuss later. That is the point. Yes, definitely. Time management includes planning plus execution. Sir, how much time to spend for the planning? This is the question from your side. Planning includes reading time, and develop your mind, especially reverse engineering. Students, if you are not practicing the things in this manner till now, do remember that initially, you will you will Hello, can you please reply me about the clarity of my voice? Okay, 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 okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, once again, once again. I was saying that initially, if you are not practicing in this manner, so your planning time will definitely will require initially more time. But as the time goes on, as you are practicing the thing accordingly, then you be able, then you will be able to spend more time for the execution rather than for the reading aspect. Initially, reading and planning aspects will take more time if you are not in the practice manner. But do remember that don't start the question until unless you are not good enough for the planning matter. Planning includes the reading of question first. Reading of question in a manner to develop the thing simultaneously. Now read the question. First, you have read the requirement number 2. Yes, come on. West Parley. West Parley is a listed retailer, mainly selling food and small household. It has outperformed its competitor over the last few years, and as a result provide high quality product at reasonable price. So they are involved in food and households and high quality products at a reasonable price, and also having a stronger presence online. Alhamdulillah, I'm sorry. It has kept a control on cost, partly by avoiding operating large stores on expensive city centers. Instead, it has small stores on edge of cities and towns, and limited number of large stores on convenient out of town sites, aiming at customers who want their journeys to shop to be quick. One of its advertising slogan has been "We are where you want to be." This is a very big slogan. That's we are everywhere where you want. We are where you want us to be. Okay. West Parley Company's share price has recently performed better than the most companies in the retail sector generally. Recently performing better. Shares price in retail sectors have been relatively low. Means overall industry is going low as a result of poor result of due to high competition, large fixed costs, and high interest rates. The exception has been shares in retailer, specializing in computer and high tech goods. That's important. The shares appear to have benefited from a boom generally in share price of high tech companies. Okay, so the question now become tilt to the tech companies. Although stronger presence on online, but the situation is about to tell the situation tell to high tech companies. Some analysts believe share price of many companies in the high tech sector are significantly higher than rational analysis of the future prospect would indicate. Means analyst says that high tech companies high share price indicating about the future prospects because normal investors are expecting about something high tech sectors. Okay, next one. Matt Travers company. Which Parley company has identified listed retailer Matt Travers company as an acquisition target? Okay. So initially you have identified that that's something about the acquisition because it believes that Matt Travers company share are currently undervalued and part of the Matt Travers company operation would be good strategic fit for which Parley company. So what are their justification for the acquisition? The company is undervalued and the justification about good strategic fit. Normally the acquisition is multi-dimensional. For example, vertical or horizontal. If you are acquisition with the same industry, that's called horizontal. So normally the company is acquiring the another company with the same industry. That means to get some power in the market, to get more market share. So in the social media sector, Facebook acquired the WhatsApp. In the platform-based industry, Uber, one of the company, acquired the Kareem, the platform um, transport services. Banks, number of times one banks acquired the another bank for the sake to get the power. In the Pakistan, the telecom company called Mobiling acquired another company that's called Warid couple of years ago. But why they do that? Because of a strategic fit. The positive point is about strategic fit to get market share, market power. But this is for positive side. If you are reading the question, I must say initially you must be smart that you have to write something in the writing. For example, the writing with the report with the term assessment. So assessment is about something positive and negative both. So if you are reading the question, you have to develop your mindset simultaneously, some plus point and minus as well. Yes, they will get the market share, but the important thing is about the synergy. Are they be able to get the synergy? Just talk yourself about or something, develop the mind accordingly. He said that's undervalued company. That is the positive one. If we acquired the undervalued company, so we will be able to get more shares. But minus point, how to get the valuation? Can we rely on the calculation or not? So that is based on requirement. Whenever you first read the question, develop your mind. For example, more thing. You initially read that some behavioral factor for the Matt Travers tech. You see requirement something about the finance. All things must, the requirement things must have to bear in your mind and read the question accordingly. Okay. Matt Travers operates two types of stores: home and tech. Matt Travers Home mainly sells larger household items and home furnishing. Type of retailers have performed particularly badly recently, and one major competitor, Matt Travers Home, has just gone out of the business. The industry is not performing well. Matt Travers Home operates number of city centers. They are in city centers, not in isolation. But here we are at edge of the cities or out of town, but they are at city centers. And city centers normally having the shops or the arrangements are difficult, are very costly, but has a high proportion of out of time downsides as well than its competitors. So both city centers and out of times. Extract from the Matt Roberts company latest annual reports given below. Profit after tax, oh sorry, pre-tax profit 950, loan 6500, equity 5000. Shares of pre-tax profit between Matt Roberts home and tech 80-20. Home and tech 80-20. Current market value of the Matt Roberts 12,500. That's important. Market value is given. Here, the market value is given. Okay. And a debt is currently trading in the book value. That's equal to book value. West Partly believe that it will have to pay premium of 15%. They have to pay the premium. Why they are providing the premium? What is the justification of the premium? If you are acquiring my company and agree to pay premium of 15%, why you are paying to premium? We are not talking about the SBR or FR. The premium must be justified with synergy. Premium must be justified with synergy. You are agreed to pay me extra amount. Why? Because the benefit that's called synergy. Okay. To Matt Driver shareholder to buy a company to the shareholders. West Parley company intends to take advantage of the current values attributable to business, such as Matt Driver's stake by selling this part of Matt Drivers. Once again, West Parley intends to take advantage of current value attributable to business, such as Matt Driver's stake by selling this part at the relevant sector price earning ratio 18 rather than forecast estimate of the metaverse stake present value future cash flow 4500. So once again, this is something tricky. Whenever you are reading question, something you will identify easy and something you will identify hard. Do remember, if you feel something hard, that is hard not for you, all for the exam. That is tricky. That one of the part, that is Matt Travers home and Matt Travers tech, out of this the complete company Matt Travers takes the West Parley having intention to acquire the company and sell one of, maybe sell one of the business, and selling the business by the P ratio with the valuation P ratio 18 rather than if they are continue to work, that's called 4500. Company tax rate 28%. Okay. So this is what the intention. Post acquisition cost of capital. Okay. The post acquisition cost of capital of the combined company will based on cost of equity and the cost of debts. Okay. And the asset beta. Yes. Asset beta post acquisition can be assumed to both company asset beta weighted proportion in the current market value of equity. That is what normal practice. That is what the normal practice. Based on past papers. That is, you can get easy marks. Don't need to mention it. So in the question, when you are reading, develop your mind that based on requirement or identify what the tricky part and what the normal practice part. Then West Parley has 4,001 $1 shares currently trading 8.5. It has 26,000 debts in issue currently trading 105 per 100 nominal value, equity beta 1.02. Met Travers asset beta is 0.5. Okay, so there is no West Parley asset beta, but if the equity beta is available, we can identify the asset beta. Can you please reply me yes or no? Yes. This is again a normal practice. This is again a normal practice. But here asset beta, the current market value of Matt Travers company share price 12,500 and long-term loan is currently trading at a book value of 6,500. Here also mention that debt is currently trading at a book value. So no worries. The risk-free rate 3.5%, market risk premium 8%. It's simple. Pre-tax KD, pre-tax cost of debts, combined company 9.8. Okay, that's already given. It can be assumed that debt over equity ratio of the combined company same as West Parlay company current debt over equity ratio in the market values. Okay, so that means if we need to calculate the WACC of post acquisition, so West Parlay capital structure remains same. West Parlay remains same capital structure. Okay, tax rate 28%. No worries. Plans for Matraverse company. Plans. The question with respect to the West Parlay. The offer for Matraverse company will be cash offer. Any funding required for this offer will mixture of debt and equity. Although the purpose of the calculation, it has been assuming that overall mix of debt equity will remain same. The director are considering various plans for funding the purchase which could result change in gearing. Right now, the calculation is based on the debt and equity remain same. But they are also working, they are also saying that what if we are moving towards only debt financing or change in the capital structure? And when this paragraph starts, you have to develop your mindset. That is something about the finance matter here. 8 marks. 8 marks. That is the point. As soon as it acquires Smartware's company share capital, West Parlay would sell Smartware's stake. That does not fit in with the West Parlay company's strategic plan, and West Parlay wishes to advantage of large value currently attributed to high technology business. So they are acquiring a company who also involved with our existing business, but that Matt Travels company having another exclusively tech business. So we don't want to enter with the tech business, and we wanted to continue only with our retail business. So that's why they have a plan to sell it. Okay, West Parlay company will then close Matt Travers home worst performing city center stores. So first sell the Matt Travers tech, then about the Matt Travers home, they are just sort out who are worst performing centers have to close it. It anticipates that loss of returns from these stores would partly commence high online sales by Matt Travers company, generated by increased investment in online operations. So first of all, have to develop mindset that they will shut down the city center stores who are performing worst and focusing on online business. And in fact, they are considering that the customer will shift to the online business. And they wanted to more focus for the online operations. The remaining city center stores and out of town stores would start selling the food and household items. They are very much idealistic. And for assessment, we have to critic as well. means Matt Travers not involved in the food business, but for the remaining city centers and out of town, they will perform the selling goods in the households currently sold in the West Parley stores. And West Parley believes that this would increase profit from these stores. That is the plan. So, yes, they wanted to get more power in the revenue. Also, one thing I need to discuss here generically, that's about the cross sales. They have a two product lines: home items and foods. Home items and the foods with the outlets. So they can sell, they are interested or they have been doing business with the households and the foods. Maybe they are considering that the cross sales. You know what is the meaning of the cross sales? The cross sales means, if, for example, if I am a telecom company and I have also started to manufacture cell phones, so I can offer to my customer of the telecom to purchase my cell phone as well. That is called cross sales. Means same existing customer purchase another line of our business. Hello candidates, can you please reply me? Are you getting my voice? Okay, so do reply me whenever I'm asking any question. So, okay. West Parley Company feels that reorganizing Metworth's company administrative function and using increased power as large retailer can lead synergies. Reorganizing administrative functions and increase power develop synergy. So they are justifying the synergy in this manner. Administrative function, that is so-called cost. Increase power, that is revenue. For the time being, I just shut down the camera. That is about the revenue. Okay. About the post-acquisition details, you have to very committed about the reading of that particular question. Now, once Matrix techs have been sold, West Parley Company estimated sales revenue from the Matrix home stores, which remain open together with the online sales from home business, will 43260 first year of operations. This figure expected to grow 3% per year 2 to 4. This is once again a very routine, a normal practice element. Sales, the profit margins before interest expected 6% of the sales revenue, year 1 to 4. Tax allowable depreciation allow equivalent to the amount invested mean to existing operation. However, investment asset, including working capital, will be required $630 in year 1 and year 2 to 4 investment asset each year 0.5 each $1 increase. After 4 years, annual growth rate to be 2% foreseeable future. This is a routine manner. You have to read the question and develop the things. Where are the tricky things? Where are the routine matters? As well as the free cash flow from Matt Travers company, West Parley expect to post-tax energy. Post-tax energy will arise from planned reorganization. That is what about the synergy. The current market value of Matt Travers company shares 12.5 million and debt is trading at a book value 6,500. That 6,500 figures mentioned here 3 times. Now you have to read the question accordingly. discuss the behavior factors which may have to lead business such as Matt Travers stake being valued high. Okay, 6 marks. Then report about this. And then C part. I strongly suggest to student whenever attempting the question of the A, section A, start the question number 1, sequence. Number 1, use your energy for report part. First, use your energy for report part of the question. Because when you are initially working with the report part, that required more energy. First thing. Number 2, the benefit will be that you are deeply involved with the question, and then you will move the another part like A or C. If you already involved with the question, then the required time for attempting the question will automatically low. So smart way is that, and also the recommendation from the examiner is that, although examiner mentioned that you can attempt in any sequence, but it's better to use first energy for the report part because it's a major part. So once you read the question, once again, you have to thoroughly read the requirement. Prepare a report, board of director of the West Parley company, which compares additional value West Parley company believes can be generated from sale of Maxwell Tech based on PE ratio, with that of the project presented for its foreseeable future. That is 4 marks. Calculate WACC of the combined company. 6 marks. Estimate total value of the West Parley shareholder will gain acquisition of the Matt Travis company. And then fourth is actually the part of the report. Assess the strategic fit, financial value of the acquisition, including discussion of the estimation and assumption. 12 marks. That is the point. Now, it's time to start working. We have to make a report accordingly. Yes, we have to make a report. But for the sake of report, all of these are the appendix. These 3 actually about appendix. And this is what the part of the report. So I will start the working accordingly. The question, West Parley. I will discuss what is the meaning of the pull factor, what is the meaning of the time management, all of these things. How to head it the answer. The first thing I have mentioned that part B1, that's about appendix. Appendix 1. That's called additional. Listen carefully. Value from sell of Matt Travers Tech. Sorry. And you have to mention that that's part B here. Yes, don't worry about the answer. Candidates, we are going to start the working with this, but have to take a break. Take a 10 minutes break, and after that, we will attempt that particular question with the pull factor. Immediate after the factor, oh, sorry, immediate after the break, we will discuss the question. But first, what is the meaning of pull factor? Sir, do let us know what is the meaning of pull factor. Take a 10-minute break. Pull factor reverse engineering. 10 minutes break. ACCA management, if you are hearing my voice, please share. Please share the WhatsApp group link on the chat. Take a 10 minutes break. Thank you very much. Don't worry, Kantesh. Today's class agenda is about develop the right direction for the practice aspect. We will start definitely whatever I have discussed with you. That's a variable part for you. We will put our effort to conclude the question. Otherwise, if something remaining, next day 15 to 20 minutes more I will take to conclude this matter. Don't worry about that. But the important thing is that you have to develop the right strategy for the preparation. Yes, this Word file, all the documents will be available after the session. Don't worry. Don't worry. Join the WhatsApp group. That will be available. Okay, candidates, come on. Can you please reply me about the clarity of my voice? Okay, let's start the game from here. So, what is the meaning of pull factor? Pull factor means whenever you read the requirement, first, the very first thing, understanding the requirement, ask yourself, crystal clear, ask yourself that I have understand the requirement very crystal clear. And whatever the requirement is, you have to mention on the heading. You have to mention on the heading. So first of all, whatever the requirement is, you have to mention this. Now it's my turn. Sir, you tell me how to apply the pull factor here. First, read the requirement. Compare the additional value with West Parley believes can generated from sale of metaverse tech based on P ratio with that projected present value of the free cash flow. Class, actually, the requirement is that the requirement is based on this paragraph. Your exam solutions are not given in a manner how the student attempt the question in the examination. I repeat, your exam solutions, real exam solution of ACC, it's like that. It's not like that when students are actually answer the question, but you try to answer the question in a way that if I'm a student sitting at the examination hall, how I will drive the question. I will support you like this. West Parley intention to take advantage of current values attributable to business such as Metaverse Tech by selling this part of Metaverse company. You know that here Metaverse having two companies, itself two divisions, Metaverse Tech and Metaverse Home. And in the question, the plan for Metaverse by West Parley is that they need to sell the Metaverse Tech rather than to continue. So once again, selling this part of Metaverse at a relevant P ratio 18 rather than forecast estimate of Metaverse present value future cash flow 4,500. So first of all, you have to mention that what is actual requirement. The requirement, you have to mention that where I need to go. Candidates, can you please reply me about the clarity of my voice? Is voice clear to all of you? Okay. Now mention. I will mention this. What additional value? What additional value? By comparing the value of material tax by free cash flow as continued business. As continued business. And this is already given. This is already given. This is already given. How much the value? That is 4,500. That is 4,500. Don't worry about the WhatsApp group. Focus on the question. I will enter you at the end of the session. Please focus on the question and answer my question. Value of the value by free cash flows as a continued business 4,500 rather than value as a selling unit by PE ratio. And this value need to work out. And whatever the difference we have to put, that is what the difference about. And for this purpose, if we need to calculate additional value for that purpose, here is the heading of working. And working one, we will mention that we have to work out with the working. That's working one. Heading with working one. Now the PE ratio. Now the PE ratio. Now about the PE ratio. How to value by the PE ratio? You know very well for the PE ratio. First of all, we have to work out for the profit after tax sharing. Profit after tax sharing. Yes, come on. The Med Travers company, the profit before tax 1950 and the profit sharing between home and tech 80-20. That means 20. That is 20. This 20. So let's take out the figure. 19 is equal to 1950 multiplied by 20% and multiply by after tax, because we need after tax 72%. Yes. And what do you do? Simple. Apply this. Control C and Control V. That's 281. Now another important point. Sir, do we need, very important point. Sir, do we need to show this working? This working. Listen carefully. This working. I strongly suggest, I strongly suggest that some of the working you have to show that, because if you are working with the Excel directly this 281, and if there is some casting error, if there are some casting error, at least your working are shown here. Examiner will only consider as a casting error rather than show this bar. So I suggest that try to incorporate the working in some aspects, not all. Now the PE ratio. Come on. Now the PE ratio. That's 18 times. It's mentioned on the question. Okay, directly work. Value by PE. Yes, that's 281 is equal to E3 multiplied by 18 times. That is 5054. That is 5054. Yes, it's very simple. So this is what about the 5054, that is E4 is equal to E4 and additional value, that's the difference between, is equal to 5054 minus 4500, that's 554. That is 554. That is additional value. Number one. And you got the 4 marks. It's a very simple requirement, but you have to understand the requirement accordingly. There's a question from your side, that what if I am not able to understand the question? So try to understand the question. If you are not able to understand, just take assumption and do your best, whatever you think. But don't 100% ignore that. Don't do that. You just avoid the 100% requirement. So candidates, are you getting the point? What is the meaning of the pull factor? It's not like the exam solutions. Can you please reply me? Now the next thing is the weighted average cost of capital. That's called appendix. Yes, come on. Appendix 2. That's combine WAC part B2 combine WAC. Yes, appendix 2. Yes, come on. Now, whenever you are involved with the complex scenario of the WAC, whenever you are working with the complex scenario of the WAC, do remember the very important point. You just work with the pull factor. What is the meaning of the pull factor? The pull factor of about the WAC here. What the ingredients required about the WAC? Sir, number one, the capital structure. Number one, the capital structure. Capital structure means market value of equity, market value of debts. Sir, what we will take market value, equity, and debts? Here, the examiner says that West Parley acquiring Met Travers company, and the capital structure remain unchanged. The capital structure remain unchanged. You have to mention that assumption after acquisition. So we can take simple market value of equity, and that's very simple. Yes, market value of equity. Yes, what is the market value of equity? Make it clear, very simple. West Parlay, 4,000 shares trading 8.5 is equal to 4,000 multiplied by 8.5, 34,000. What about the debts? 26,000 currently 105 is equal to 26,000 multiplied by 1.05 is equal to some, make a percentage, is equal to 34 divided by 61.3 is equal to 27.3 divided by 61.3. That's capital structure. That's remain unchanged. It's very simple. Now come on, make it quick. What I'm doing, just put the WAC. What the ingredients required of the WAC? Number one, sir, capital structure. Number two, we have done the capital structure. Number two, KD. KD already given. That's given. How much is the KD? Can you please reply me the KD? The KD, that's 9.8%. That is 9.8%. Pre-tax cost of debts of the combined company, 9.8%, 9.8%. That's simple. Now the complication about the KE. For KE, we required working two. So that should drive the question with your own aspects. Don't put the push factors. Develop the reverse engineering. Put the things of understand the requirement and then pull the factors accordingly. Now working two. Now ask yourself for the KE, what's the complication? We know that we will work out KE by the CAPM. For CAPM, RF is not the it's not the challenge. RP is not the challenge. About the beta equity. For beta equity, capital structure 55-45. The issue is about beta asset. You have to talk to yourself whenever you are attempting the question. Sir, for KE, RF it's not issue, RP is not the issue. Beta equity, if we get the beta asset of the combined company, then we easily adjust with the capital structure, no matter it is. So the important is beta asset weighted average. The beta asset for weighted average. Yes, that is the key point. Beta asset for the weighted average. Weighted average, quickly read the requirement. The beta asset post acquisition can be assumed to both companies' asset beta weighted in proportion to their current market value of equity. So weighted average with the proportion of current market value of equity. But the important thing is that, is this beta asset available? You said that, sir, beta asset of the Malt Travers company is given. That's given. How much this? Do let me know. How much the beta asset? How much the beta asset? 0.75. Very good. Now we need to calculate the beta asset of West Parlay by CAPM formula. By CAPM formula. We require to put beta asset, beta equity, all these things. But the important thing is that we need to work out for the equity E. The requirement of the E. Yes, what is the E? West Parlay. It's a data of West Parlay. 4,000 million shares, 8.5. Is equal to 4,000 multiplied by 8.5, 34,000. What about the market value of debts? That's 26,000 here. Multiply by 1.05. Or you can put directly the value, no worries about that. That's we have already worked out with the capital structure. No need to mention here. You have directly put accordingly. No worries. But the point is that, sir, what about the beta asset? Beta asset is equal to beta equity. Yes, how much the beta equity? Equity beta 1.02. 1.02 multiplied by 34,000 divided by 34,000 plus 27,300 into 0.72 after tax. That is 0.65. That is 0.65. Beta asset 0.65. Now it's time for beta asset combined company. Weighted average by equity. Yes, number one. E West Parlay is equal to E10. E Metravers already given. Can you tell me how much is Metravers? That's 12,500. 12,500. That is the point. So we can work out with the proportion as well. Is equal to 34 divided by 46.5. 73 and 27. Okay. Beta asset of the combined company in this manner. Yes, calculate. Is equal to 0.65 multiplied by 0.73 plus 0.75 multiplied by 0.27. That is the point. Beat the asset of the combined company. Yes, class. Can you please reply me how the working is going on? That's, are you getting the point? If you drive the beta asset, then beta equity, it's very simple. 0.677 is equal to beta equity multiplied by, this is geared beta, gearing with the capital structure of 55.5 and 45.5. Multiply by 55.5 divided by 55.5 plus 44.5, 1 minus tax 0.28. Yes, what is the value? That is 1.07. Don't worry about that. I will share the file, but first have to observe that how I am working, how I am driving the things. And now K. And now K. K is equal to RF. How much the RF? I think so. It's 3.5%. Yes. 3.5%. And risk premium 8%. 3.5% plus 8% minus 3.5% multiplied by 1.07. And what is the answer? Sorry. That is 12.06%. Beta equity. It's a simple formula. That's beta asset is equal to beta equity multiplied by E divided by E plus D 1 minus T. Candidates, do remember that examiner not expecting to mention this formula in the spreadsheet. You have to work out directly. Even KE is equal to RF plus RP into beta equity, don't need to mention, because these formula already mentioned on the formula sheet. It's already part of the formula sheet. If you write the thing accordingly, if you repeat the formula accordingly, you will not get extra marks. You will just waste the time. Are you getting the point? Don't rewrite the formula. Directly apply the formula. That's all. So here we have identified report writing exists. We will inshallah conclude the I will end my session by 11:45 because I took 2 breaks. I will end the my class by 11:45 with the discussion of particular report as well. Okay. Moreover, KE working to, that's 12.06%. Now we are working with the WAC. Quickly calculate the WAC. Answer me about the WAC. Is equal to 12.06 multiplied by 55.5% bracket close plus multiply by 9.8% plus, sorry, multiply by 0.72 tax adjustment, multiply by 45.5%. 12.06 multiply by 55.5%, 9.8%, multiply by 0.72 into 44. Yes. And that is about 10% approximately. 10%. Whereas for 55.5, these are the capital structure. I just spoke, I just take 55 as a percentage. This 55, 34,000 is the 55% of 61,300. And 27,300 is the 45% of this. That's all. This is what about the capital structure. Is that clear? Moreover, yes, I know that KD is pre-tax, but in this formula, I just take 0.72. I got 0.72. Is that clear? Now come on. You can ask me after the class. I will be available after the class as well. Okay. Now what about the part C? Quickly, because we have to move for the report writing as well. Yes. Estimate the total value which West Parley shareholder will gain from the acquisition of Max Reverse company. Okay, once again. First of all, we have to develop a reverse engineering. Here, ask, ask yourself and reply me. The third requirement with viewpoint of West Parley acquirer or Met-Travers. Ask, reply me. Is this the requirement with respect to acquirer shareholders or acquiring? Acquirer perspectives. Yes. Part C. Okay. And what's the requirement? That is what value created for West Parley shareholder. Okay. So by the way, West Parley, why the West Parley acquiring that particular company? Why the West Parley acquiring that particular company? They wanted to acquire the Met-Travers because they were because for the purpose of acquisition. So what we need to do here, number one, first of all, we have to work out value of Met-Travers. post acquisition. Number one, the total value. It's a total value. The important thing is that the total value, because having two divisions plus value of synergy plus value of synergy, sorry, add the value of synergy, also add the proceed from sale of tech division, of tech division, because first you acquire it, then sell it. And definitely, if we wanted to work out that value created for the shareholder, the important thing is that all these we are getting, but definitely we have to spare something, or we have to pay something. The whatever the amount we need to pay, that is value of Match Travers company, or value of acquiry. So what you are saying, in a very simple word, if you are acquirer, you need to justify to the shareholder. We need to justify to the shareholder that why we are acquiring. So we have to, what we will say to the shareholder, that is what we will get advantage this area. But this area we need to compromise as well by the payment and more. For the sake of this matter, for the sake of this matter, we have to work out one by one. Do we have available the complete value of the Met Travers? No. Do we have available right now the value of synergy? No. Do we know that how much we can get proceed from sale of tech division? Answer me. Answer me. How much it? If we sell it, that's the value 5054 is equal to B4, is equal to B4. That's we have. And whatever we have to compromise value of acquiring, we have to work out accordingly. That's working for. First of all, whenever you are revision your questions, whenever you are working for the question, make sure that you are working with the pull factor, with the reverse engineering, with the reverse engineering. Now, on that basis, have to work out with the working three. The working three, that is about post acquisition value of acquiring by free cash flow method. And even if you're working for this, first of all, first of all, examiner particular mentioned that this paragraph, post acquisition details. Here mention examiner the first year and year 2 to 4. and after 4 years. So that's why we are working year 1 to year 4 and then year 4 onwards. So whatever we are working in this manner, first of all, year 1 to year 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Yes. Number 1, what is about the sales value? Yes, value of the, yes, we will work out accordingly. No, this is not the combined company value. This is not the combined company value. It's only the home stores. It's a home stores. It's a value of only the home stores. Number 1, sales revenue. And what about the sales revenue? That is 43260. It's given. Is equal to E30 multiplied by what? 1.0344. That's simple values. Then PBIT. And PBIT is 6% of sales revenue. Is equal to E30 into 2596. Control C, Control V. Then taxation. Tax 28% is equal to minus E31 into 0.28. Control C, Control V. Is equal to sum. Okay, sorry. We also required additional investment. What about the additional investment? Additional investment. Number 1, 630. Number 2 is equal to, what's the requirement here? $50 for every $1 increase. F29 minus E29 multiplied by 0.5. Sorry. Yes, but that is the value of minus. Control C, Control V. And this is what about the matter. Discount rate 10%. Zero 0.751, 0.683 is equal to present value, free cash flow. Year 1 to year is equal to sum 4092. Year 4 onwards, it's very simple. Year 4 onwards, that's with the delayed perpetuity. That is what the delayed perpetuity. And with the delayed perpetuity, how we will work? We will pick the value of this one. Don't make mistake. Examiner asking that student do mistake here. 1354. 1354 is equal to 1354 multiply by 1.02 divided by 0.08 and apply this complete bracket here. And divided by, oh sorry, multiply by 0.683. I'm sorry for this. Is equal to 1354 multiply by 1.02 divided by 0.08, and that is simple perpetuity. Huh? You can work out with a manual workout. No worries about that. And then divided multiply by 0.683. And what is about the work? Yes, you can work out simply. You can work out with a direct matter, no issue at all. What is the value? 11782. What I think? That is the total value. 782, 791, whatever. Okay, class. The very important thing, last 10 minutes. You can directly work out in this manner. Listen, working. Don't use this bracket. That simple bracket 1.02 1.02 divided by 0.08, and that is what the answer. You can check in this way. Okay, class. That's all over the post X value, and the total value is equal to how much? The total value 15874. 15874 is equal to E29. 15874. Okay, class. The value of synergy, candidates, because time is running out, that's why. Yes, this is home debate. You have to work for the synergy aspect by your own self, by yourself. The synergy is very simple, because I have to discuss something, two important things by next 5 to 7 minutes. Don't worry about that. You will get the solution complete with this aspect. Don't worry about that. So another important thing, the very important aspect, listen carefully. You have to complete it. home division, then synergy, then this one, and then let the value acquiring. Overall, this will create the value of the shareholder. Plus, the important thing is that we are considering here, listen carefully. What examiner says about this question, what examiner says. For example, in part B1, listen carefully. Candidates asked to calculate additional value generated by disposal by comparing PE valuation, incorporating with the theoretical free cash flow valuation. Rational assumption. Many candidates scored full marks in section. Now, this is the important point. The most common error was ignored tax in the PE. That's a key point you have to bear in mind. That is the important thing. That is the key point. We also discussed do's and don'ts. Do's, the pull factor. Don'ts, the mistake your senior done. The mistake your senior did. B part. Candidates were asked to calculate WACC of the combined company. Many candidates scored well in this section as long as understand how ungear and regear cost of equity as well as calculated post-acquisition asset beta, which weighted according to the market value of equity of both companies. Significant candidates erroneously use asset beta to calculate combined cost of equity. So you don't need to make mistake about the gearing and degearing. Another common error, use combined debt equity value weighing the calculate of the combined cost of capital instead of acquiring debt over equity is specified in the scenario. Means you have taken wrong weightage. A small number of candidates erroneously use pre-tax KD. So these are the highlighting factors. These are the highlighting factors. Are you people getting the point? What do's and don'ts? I will provide you this report, the extract of the report, and the complete solution as well. Then you have to read it. Last 5 minutes of the session. Sir, report. Sir, report. How to work out with the report. Sir, report. Whenever you are working with the report, the very important key points. Number one, report structure. Means you have to mention that, for example, start with the report to the board of directors. Then make a heading, introduction. That is about the report. And that should be very brief. That should be very brief, not a detailed one. Maximum 3 lines, 3 points, 3 to 4 points. A briefing, what is about the report. Then start with the material. All the material must be headed and make sure complete according to the requirement. Sir, what does that mean? Headed complete according to the requirement. This means that when you are working with this, listen carefully. Don't ignore this. Assess the strategic and financial value to West Parlay of the acquisition, including the discussion of estimation and assumptions. Examiner particularly mentioned that you have to make a report report to the board of director, which all these things, 1, 2, 3, and examiner highlighting that you have to mention the term strategic and financial values, including estimate and assumptions. So your heading must be work out with strategy, then financial. Must have to incorporate this strategy, financial, including including the aspects of estimation and assumptions. You can make a heading of estimation assumption as well. That's called complete according to requirement, and have to put the conclusion. Your conclusion must be very much diplomatic. What is the meaning of diplomatic? I will tell you by tomorrow. Report compiled with and date. Don't mention your name or registration number anywhere. Now, the important point is that your professional marks, all the report includes whatever I've told you, that includes the 4 marks. If you write the thing accordingly, you will get the 4 marks. And finally, start the things. Means number 1, report. For example, you've started. Report to the directors. Number 1. Sorry. Here with the start. Yes. Report to the directors. Last 2 minutes. Number 1. Number 2, introduction, very brief. What is about the report? A briefing of the report. What is about the report? This report evaluates whether the acquisition of the quarry would be beneficial to the acquirer by estimating the future generated cash flows of the home, proceed from the selling of the one division, and additional value created by synergy after the companies are combined. Yes, blank, blank. Don't worry. Report compiled by blank, date blank. Very brief, very brief. Last minute of the class. Last minute of the class. Okay. Whenever we are starting to write something about theory anywhere, either report and anywhere, you have to plan. How to plan it? The pull factor. Sir, I need to write the strategic value. That includes 3 to 4 marks. Number 1, for 3 to 4 marks, stick with the time management. 4 multiplied by 1.8 is equal to 7 minutes. 7 minutes includes 2 minutes plan plus 5 minutes writing. Either planning means either develop the things in your mind or write it in the rough. What does that mean? That means you have to plan with 2 minutes respect to the marks management. If there are 4 marks, that means 3 well explained points. Sir, what points I will write? That is the key point of today's session. Don't push the thing, pull the matter. What does that mean? Pull the matter. Think about it. Whatever I will write, first of all, have to plan. Your complete report is based on assessment. So if your report is assessment, your behavior should be in this way. Are you get? You know what does this emoji means? Assessment means you have to think in a critical way. Hmm, is this right? Is this the manner? Yes or no? Your face and mind should reflect in this manner. Means some plus point like market power. Here, the report about that we are acquiring to strategic fit. Okay, so you will get the market power. You will more penetrate with the online sales. You will get advantage of the cross sales. That is the plus point. But some negative point. Negative means some question mark. We are already very strong having a good brand. There is a point. Question mark. Are we able to compete with a company online and acquisition as well? That is what about the planning. First, you have develop a planning, then you will start writing. Yes. 3 to 4 points. 3 to 4 points. 3 to 4 points. Candidates, that is more than enough for the today's session. Then next one is the financial value. Then synergy. Same method is. First have to think about that. How to answer it. Candidates, please reply me. One last point. Are you getting the point? What is the mean? How the right path for the revision and the preparation of the AFM? Have you got the idea? Finally, what is the meaning of the time management? What is the meaning of the marks management? What is the meaning of the professional marks? What is the meaning of the pull factor, either for calculation or theory? How to read the question? That is what all about from my side.